you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books and marketing expert covering woke executives fired from the Hallmark Channel. Let's get into the story. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate you guys. Coming from Heavy.com, layoffs announced at the Hallmark Channel. And they're not just any layoffs. All 4 Hallmark Media executives who were laid off have been hired by former CEO Wonya Lucas. Wonya Lucas was brought in to replace the existing CEO of Hallmark, Bill Abbott, who turned it from a very successful company into an absolute massive success. But then she left after just a couple of years, and now her hires are out. Coming from Cord Cutter News, Hallmark Channel and Hallmark streaming services reportedly lay off more staff. The executives that were laid off from Hallmark were not administrative assistants. There's nothing wrong with being an administrative assistant, but these were executives. They were powerful people brought in to push her agenda. It doesn't mean Hallmark is going to change their agenda, but it does mean they need people that can actually do the agenda. These people were just not cutting it. Hallmark Media, the parent organization of the Hallmark Channel and Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, has kicked off 2024 with some major changes behind the scenes. Despite rising to the top of the ratings as the most watched entertainment network on cable TV last year, per a recent Hallmark press release, the company has laid off 4 key executives on January 10th, 2024, according to Deadline. The changes come 5 months after former Hallmark Media CEO Wonya Lucas announced she would soon be stepping down from her role by the end of 2023. So she is finally out of there, along with some of her key people that directly used to report to her. Hallmark is not the only media company going through restructurings and layoffs, though. In addition to layoffs occurring at media giants like Amazon Prime and MGM Studios, per The Wrap, former Hallmark Media CEO Bill Abbott's network Great American Family announced its own layoffs on January 9th. Yes, it's true. Successful competitor, I should say. Great American Family is laying off people. They're actually laying off more than 4 people. They're laying off 13 people. And when Hallmark says it's 4 people, it's not 4 people. It's probably at least 40 people, because each of those people have people that report to them. They have their own little teams of people. And when you get rid of the head of an executive team, you get rid of the people that directly report to them and help them produce and do their work, because they're all usually tied into those people, unless they are functionaries that can be transferred to somewhere else. But generally speaking, that's not how it works. Great American Family is undergoing layoffs, but they're letting go people that were duplicative, meaning they merged a streaming company called PureFlix that was owned by Sony into Great American Family, and some of the positions they are getting rid of because they don't need 2 chief financial officers. They're running it essentially as one business. So when you have a merger, it is expected you're going to lay people off to save expenses. It's part of why companies justify putting 2 companies together. Not the same over at Hallmark. Though one insider told Deadline that major cutbacks were happening at Hallmark, the only confirmed layoffs from Hallmark were 4 top executives at the network: Chief Marketing Officer Lara Richardson, Chief People Officer Pamela Wolfe. So a people officer is like human resources, although I'm sure by now they mix it in with diversity, equity, and inclusion, but that is a major change because that person is going to define like how they're going to interact with new hires, management positions, frontline employees, what their quotas are going to be for what kinds of people they're going to hire. It's a very important position for a company like Hallmark, especially with them pushing their woke agenda. Executive Vice President of Research Strategy, Robin Thomas, and Head of Distribution, Judi Lopez. If any of those 4 people were doing what the company needed them to do, they wouldn't be leaving immediately in 2024 as soon as former CEO Wonya Lucas left the company. Those were her people. When her people go, that means they're looking for something different at the company. At least different people to do the same thing. All 4 women were hired during Lucas's tenure as CEO and reported to her. When Lucas announced her impending departure in August, the company said Mike Perry, CEO of parent company Hallmark Cards Inc, would work closely with the executive team to manage the transition and future planning. So they don't have a replacement for the CEO that just left, and they don't seem to have replacements for these 4 people. They just got rid of the CEO, and now they're getting rid of the managers that helped her set the tone for how she wanted them to run the company. According to Brand Innovators, fired Chief Marketing Officer Lara Richardson was a marketing executive at Discovery Channel prior to Hallmark and was Hallmark Media's first Chief Marketing Officer in a decade when she joined the team in December 2020, not long after Lucas began. Meanwhile, Robin Thomas was Lucas's first hire in October 2020, according to Multichannel News, which named her as one of its 2023 LA Wonder Women at a ceremony last May honoring female TV executives making a, quote, lasting impact on their businesses and the industry. Chief People Officer Pamela Wolf joined Hallmark in November 2021 and was included a year later in Cablefax's list of the TV industry's most powerful women, highlighting that she, quote, introduced extensive month-long third-party training courses as a means to invest in the individual and professional growth of the company's leadership teams. So you can imagine that was literally month-long diversity, equity, and inclusion training sessions, tying up executives, tying up managers, tying up employees with useless training that didn't move the business forward. Head of distribution, Judi Lopez, started at Hallmark in December 2021, per Multichannel News, after 13 years at Fuse Media. At Hallmark, she was tasked with overseeing every aspect of sales, negotiations, strategic planning, and marketing efforts and related content distribution, the outlet reported. In a statement provided to Deadline.com, a Hallmark spokesperson explained that Hallmark Media's organizational changes represent, quote, a new, more streamlined structure. It's very streamlined to not have chief people officers tying up all of your management, taking them away from actual work for a month-long training on diversity, equity, and inclusion. I can promise you that's what was happening. And here's Hallmark's statement. Quote, as such, some executive leadership roles were eliminated, the statement said, while new and expanded roles were created in order to forge new opportunities that will strengthen our forces on our core and build new capabilities for our consumers and viewers. The Hallmark Media business remains committed to creating compelling content, and Hallmark Channel recently closed out the entire 2023 year as the #1 most viewed cable entertainment network among key demos, demonstrating a clear pathway for continued success. And how did they get that way? How did they get to be such a big and successful business? When they brought on Wonya Lucas, they had first fired the guy who made the company a massive success. Here's what Bill Abbott did, who now runs a competitor to Hallmark called GAC Media, before he left their company at Crown Media. Crown Media is the company that owns Hallmark. He joined in 2000 as its executive vice president of advertising sales. There, he led the national advertising sales operations for the networks, internet services, and digital network development, and oversaw its offices in New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and Atlanta. In 2004, he oversaw the launch of Hallmark Movie Channel. During his tenure as executive vice president of advertising sales, Hallmark Channel's annual advertising revenue increased from $10.2 million to $223 million, more than a 20-time increase in advertising revenue. That's not all. As CEO, Abbott succeeded Henry Schleff as president and CEO of Crown Media on June 1, 2009. In his first year, Abbott made a deal with Martha Stewart to create a lifestyle block on Hallmark Channel that premiered in March 2010. The following year, Abbott launched Hallmark's Countdown to Christmas campaign, and in 2015 featured Mariah Carey in her directorial debut in A Christmas Melody with 17 new original movies. So he launched and created Countdown to Christmas, one of the biggest things on the Hallmark Channel. In 2012, he revived the daytime Emmy-nominated lifestyle program, The Home and Family Show. Abbott also diversified and expanded the network's content to include primetime scripted series, including Cedar Grove and When Calls the Heart, an honoree of the 2016 Christopher Spirit Award. Separately, he oversaw the 2014 rebranding of Hallmark Movie Channel to Hallmark Movies and Mysteries. In January 2020, Abbott stepped down as CEO of Crown Media a little more than a month after the network apologized for removing advertisements featuring same-sex couples from their air. By June 2021, he had started up Great American Media, and many of the Hallmark stars left to join him. One of the biggest talents next to Bill Abbott from the Hallmark Channel, of course, is Candace Bure. She's now not just in front of the camera, she's also behind the camera, helping to plan the content at Great American Family. From Crosswalk.com, 5 questions for Candace Bure about faith, movies, and Great American Family. Actress and filmmaker Candace Bure surprised fans in 2022 when she left the Hallmark Channel and signed with upstart Great American Family, where she was named Chief Content Officer for the rival of her former employer. Since then, Great American Family has experienced rapid growth, releasing dozens of original movies and lured other stars from Hallmark, including Danica McKellar. It also launched its own streaming channel, Great American PureFlix, following a merger with PureFlix. Crosswalk recently spoke with Bure. Below are 5 questions with her answers edited lightly for clarity. Great American Family has been TV's fastest growing network for 12 straight months. What do you attribute that growth to? We're so thrilled with everyone who has tuned in and found our channel. We know it's not the easiest channel to find right now because we're a brand new network and we're growing. And there are so many cable channels out there to choose from. I think it is growing so fast because of the content that we have. Our movies are so heartwarming. They are for the family and they bring you back to a time and place, whether it's present or past, thinking of memories with loved ones. That just makes you feel good. We don't have an agenda at our network. We simply want to entertain people with wonderful, high-quality content. Next question, is there anything that sets Great American Family movies apart from movies on other platforms? Our network really focuses on faith, family, and country, and that's what sets us apart. So you'll see that not every movie we have talks about faith in a super prominent way, but there are mentions of it. And unlike many other movies out there that will always focus on all other aspects and the commercial aspects of Christmas, we definitely have that in our movies, but we will bring you back to prayer before mealtimes or talking about the fact that Jesus is the reason for the season. And we're not afraid of that. We want to incorporate that in all of our movies without hitting you over the head with faith either. Because we recognize there are lots of people who come to our channel and watch our movies that may be of a different faith, that may not have faith at all. But we hope that you get a tinge of what faith in God means to us at the network and within our movies. And then we also love our country. My movie, My Christmas Hero, really honored our military this year. I was so grateful to produce that movie and star in it. I had not done one that had honored the military. Our network is all about being proud Americans. I mean, that's what our network is named after. It's Great American Family. Third question. You, of course, are outspoken about your faith. At what point in your career did you decide that you weren't going to just have faith in the background, but you were going to be upfront about your faith? My faith has always been very important to me. While my movies haven't been faith-based movies, over the years, they were always just a stepping stone that if people wanted to look into who I am on a Candace Bure level, not a character that I'm playing, and when I would speak in interviews that I would be fully genuine and authentic and who I am as a Christian woman. And so that has always been part of my life, really since I've been in the business. And I've been in the business for over 40 years. As our country becomes more and more divided over social issues, it's also become more important for me as a woman, as a mother, and as a person in our industry to be able to have a voice for what's important to me. And that's my Christian faith. And so making movies that have more faith content has become more important to me as I've gotten older. This is great. You're partnering with the Book of the Month Club for Children, the Generous Kids Book Club. What is that and why did you want to be involved? It's geared towards kids age 4 to 12 and the books teach about values that matter. But it's also about more than books. You're going to get a hardcover book every month, but then you're going to get all kinds of fun things like stickers and trading cards and discussion questions and other activities along with videos that you can look online with these animated characters. We're teaching generosity, empathy, compassion, kindness, giving, and gratitude. These books are really a collaboration of parents and educators who have come together to write these wonderful books and teach long-lasting values that will change the world. And lastly, a few years ago, you were in a For King and Country music video, Joy, where you portrayed a gloomy, pessimistic person. Of course, you're very optimistic. How did you get the role? I've been friends with Joel and Luke Smallbone for quite a while, and Joe called me up one day and he said, quote, "Candace, we have a new song coming out. We're shooting a video in like 2 days in LA. Would you happen to be available?" And I didn't even know what I was getting myself into. He told me that I had to be the pessimist, which goes against my nature completely. I love those guys so much. I love their music so much. I love their family. I felt very honored to be part of that music video and just be part of their lives. Great American Family is also launching their first original series called Country Rescue. At the same time, Hallmark is canceling Chesapeake Shores. And why was this show canceled? They're not being straight about it, but this has something to do with it. The Hallmark Channel, a journey towards inclusivity. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.